Mom, are you ready to be his friend?
Yes.
Try not to be that high up to be friends. I want everything to be low, okay?
Okay.
Just try your best. I don't want you and my dad to be replaced and meanies again. I want you and my dad to be placed and settled and be friends. I'm not trying to be mean. I just want everyone to be friends.
Good news. We can finally be bees. This isn't your world, but we can be bees. This is good news. You can be a bee. You'll live like a bee. A pet.
A pet?
A pet. Mark, this is good news. You'll live for 30 years.
This is insane!
What is up, everybody? How's it going? We are back with another day. I just want to play more Death Stranding, to be honest. And this was a good excuse, and I had some time today. What is up, Crep? How's it going? B Gaming. B Gaming. Let's be gaming. Is it showing up? There we go. Oh no, there we go. Okay. I completely forgot about the requests that they'll ask for all the time. At some point, I probably should do these aid requests that are all over the place. Yeah, that was a little silly of me. We can do this at some point here. I'll do a round of like another wrap up like yesterday, and we'll do a lot of those. But for now, we'll keep on with the main mission. I think our goal right now is to bring some necrobiotes. That's what they're calling them. Bringing them across the way here. And I realize I think we already made a route, but it's a little crazy. It's like a fun substance with no adverse side effects. I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's okay. But it looks like we have a lot of rivers that we have to cross. We have some BTs we have to get by. And we can't let the stuff submerge. So we are kind of in a fun spot. I think we're gonna try to bring maybe a car, but I don't know if a car is the best way to go. So maybe we'll bring a couple ladders and we'll just go see how we do. So we'll load up on this, and I don't think we have any ladders. I don't know if a carrier is the best way to go either. Maybe we'll switch out our skeletons and go that route. Hopefully it's not too much, but I think we should be good. Yeah, they have plenty of stuff. Oh, we probably should equip these separately. Okay. Good. Skeleton, throw these on his backpack. Throw. So this stuff. We'll keep the shotgun out. Otherwise, I think we're looking not horrible. Container repair spray. I think it's pretty chill. Okay. So I think we'll be on our way. I'm gonna double check something to make sure. Okay.
Order accepted. Thank you.
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of keep going, keep on keeping on, as they say. Trying to think of what we touched on last time. Maybe I'll touch on it because Afriel said he did last night, and we'll steal this. Like, that's the best way to go, I think. Interesting to see the combat system and things start going south. The combat system in this game has been pretty fun. They made it a bigger part of the game. I think partially because this game is a little bit more approachable than the last one. The last one was a little bit made to be a little bit more friction-y, to say the least. I don't know if we'll see like straight up combat this time around, like right now. But we'll check it out and see. We might get a bit of BT stuff. Cool. So you see like this. I don't know if I even want to attack it right now. I think this might be better just to just go on foot to get moving. Let me double check if we're going to the F2 south. Okay, so we can pick up some of this stuff on the way. That'll help us. But I'll show off the blood boomerang. We used it a little bit last time, and it was pretty strong. Like some guys that usually would take like quite a few hits just to take him out. Look, this guy's close enough. I think we can show it off. Is it here? Where's the blood boomerang? The throwable. So you like fill it with blood, and then See? A blood boomerang. Totally chill. Not at all creepy. We got another guy here. It might be worth Here, we'll just see if we can sneak up enough to grab this. We'll be more on our way. Blood grenades? I mean, yeah, it's a totally normal tool that, you know, we all kind of have to run in at some point of, you know, what do we do with all this extra blood we have on us? Why not load it into a boomerang and throw it at everybody? Let's switch to our blood grenades we just picked up. Make ourselves a little path over this way. Is he dead? Still alive? Do another one on this one. And miss. And whip it. There we go. Okay. The way we still need to go is this way. Still pretty good. Keep heading on our way, I think. I don't see anything actively ahead of us. Ish. Maybe. Kind of at our last stop before. Ooh. Yeah, maybe we'll try out that ladder over there. The best way to go. The river is really raging right now. We could double up our ladders. Show off all the new features that we got. Oh, come on. Line them up, line them up, line them up. Please. Okay. think. It's just barely, but it does it.
This river's rising, Sam. We mustn't underestimate the potential risks here.
Okay, I don't know about that one, but we'll make it. Grab this ladder over here, and then we'll kind of rush our way through. Okay. One thing I wanted to talk about too is I've been kind of going back and forth with Afriel on this, so thought it would be a good kind of piece to touch on. Is the idea of audience. Like when you're making something, like who is it for and who is it pointed towards? And how much of a consideration it should take. I know Grep talked to you about this a little bit. I don't know if we had a full conversation about it, but I think there's plenty of stuff to explore there even then. Because there are times when you do need to pay attention to, you know, who the audience is and how do you present it to them well. But there's other times where you just need to kind of get an idea out or across. And you also sometimes don't want it to interfere with the way you communicate. I know that's just always a consideration on my end. Sometimes it prevents me from feeling like I can share something. Not in a way that it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just a over consideration. I've been thinking about some stuff from the stream on Friday, things I was talking through and everything, and I keep coming back to the idea that maybe the way that we talk about democracy is, it gives a false impression to people that they have more agency in how things work than they really do in actuality. And the problem with that is that I'll please be pretty shallow. Crap. Okay, how do I want to do this? If I run and jump, I can double jump. Okay. We gotta make a run for it. Yes. Okay. That was sick. That was awesome. Okay. Sweet. I'm so happy about that. That was really cool. But like democracy gives a false impression to people about how much agency they have as a person, right? I think that's part of the reason why we often are just so obsessed with trying to figure out, you know, am I on the right side of this issue, or do I absolutely know what's going on? And because I point that towards, like, in that direction, I know that there's certain people in my life that even, like, if they heard me talking now, they might be disappointed in, like, me saying that. And, part of that's just me working through the ideas. Everything's looking good. Nice. And I'm just trying to, like, understand and see this pattern and kind of understand how I can respond. But I think there's some people who I'm just afraid of how they would respond and how they would react, because I don't know if they would see my heart behind it.
Yeah, you seem like the genuine article. Welcome. Hope it wasn't too hard to track. I'll just need a moment to check your cargo.
Nice.
It's rare to receive something looking this good. I knew you were the right man for the job. Didn't expect you to waltz in with this.
I knew you were the right man for the job. Maybe it doesn't actually sound like that, but it just it feels
You
like
have
it
been
at
making
least.
a real difference around here. Keep it up, all right?
Samson Hook.
All right. Go ahead and put us on the chiral network.
He looks familiar. I know there's some like actors and stuff that will be in these games, so I wonder if that's part of it. Combat boots. They're heavy and extremely durable. Kicking an enemy while wearing these boots will inflict significant damage. And a sticky cannon, a weapon component for pickup off-roader. Automatically detects and collects nearby cargo. Dang, okay, that's nice. And a heavy machine gun. Automatically fires MP bullets at enemies within range. The type of damage inflicted changes depending on the target. That's cool. Actually, that's
Now displaying your
nice.
current porter grade.
I feel like those two lights confuse me for a second.
So we've been linked up, at last. There's also the necrobiotes you brought us as well. Feels like we finally turned a corner.
For our part, we've shared data for some custom vehicle components, as well as some sturdy combat boots. I'm sure the vehicle parts in particular will come in handy for combat and cargo retrieval. You need all the help you can get, because those armed survivalists waiting for you out east are far more dangerous foes than the brigands. They're a bunch of fools who won't hesitate to kill people, with no shortage of lethal weaponry. Though I'll be
So he looks like a
damned if I know
porter
where they got
too?
it.
He also
Make
looks
sure
like
you're
he's
prepared
has
before you have their
armor
way.
on him.
Speaking of which, those combat boots ought to add some serious power to your kicks. You might want to equip a pair if you intend on getting up close and personal.
They're not something just anyone should be messing with. Their affinity with the dead makes them dangerous. But that's also why we can use them to prevent the dead from attacking us.
Necrobiotes
With that kind of
from the
power
dead.
at our disposal, we can put people's minds at ease.
Okay.
Could solve all kinds of problems, I'm sure.
This vehicle
We've uploaded
components.
some schematics for pickup off-roader parts. One of them is a heavy machine gun. It automatically acquires and fires at targets in range. It uses MP bullets for added versatility. It's effective not only against human enemies like armed survivalists, but BTs as well.
The other part is a sticky cannon. When mounted, it independently scans for cargo in the vehicle's vicinity and collects it. You'll find it makes rounding up dropped cargo easier than ever. And who wouldn't want that? Pickup off-roaders can be equipped with 2 parts like these simultaneously.
Oh, that's very
So
nice.
choose whatever's best for the situation at hand.
So you're the Golden Fist, huh?
Some people have called me that. A while back, we had a situation with this group that went around looting whatever supplies they felt like. And I was the boxing champ who went up against these guys and sent them all packing with nothing but his bare fists. That's the story they tell, but
Oh, ups.
it sure as hell ain't the
Thank
truth.
you.
I didn't charge
That's
gallantly into battle and beat the shit out of them.
Extremely generous.
I
Thank
approached
you.
them in peace so we could work it out. I asked why they were stealing from other people, and they said it was because they didn't have the skills to live any other way. So I taught them other ways to survive, trained them a bit. Nothing more than that, really. In the end, all we had to do was talk to each other. They weren't like the other riffraff you find around here. And they're still here. In fact, working in this facility. If anyone around here deserves to be called a hero, it's you, Sam. I mean, you're the one trekking across Australia trying to bring everyone together.
Anyway,
I'm waiting for
right
this
now,
twist.
we're trying to develop equipment tailored to close combat specialists. If we succeed, anyone will be capable of fighting as well as the so-called Golden Fist. Feel free to lend a hand if if our project interests you.
Interesting. Interesting.
Thanks again. We're glad to
I
have you
just
in
have
our
a
corner.
feeling this game is going to
With your
take
support,
a
we'll be
weird
able
turn
to
at
do
some
so
point.
much more for others.
It's already had a
Stay
few of
strong
them, but
and keep doing your thing. We're in this fight together.
Sam, you're the best. Now get yourself back to the DHV Magellan and take a load off. Just so you know, tomorrow's been doing much better. Pay her a visit when you can, okay?
Order completed. Well done.
let's check things out. We're here. Okay, we can't take any orders on yet. It's probably good that we kind of move forward, and then we'll figure things out when they come.
Please take care.
It's probably the best way to go. And our boots are almost gone, so we might just switch out boots between things. Hey! Thank you. There's something so calm and meditating about this. It's interesting.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Take care, Sam.
Oh, we should check in on it. Okay, Tomorrow's condition. It seems like Tomorrow's able to understand what we're saying. We're trying to teach her a bit about life in the world, but it's a slow process. She's definitely curious, though. Her eyes light up like a little kid's. Good to hear. What is a Naburi stick? The Naburi stick is a special gift I give to the listeners of my radio show. It's also known as a licky stick. Not sure how to use it? Don't worry, it's not meant to be used. Rather, it's something that you hold on to for safekeeping. You know, it's a reminder of the connection between us. Interesting. The ultimate stealth weapon. If you're able to fabricate silent shrink handguns now, but have you tried using one yet? They're perfect for covert ops. Barely making a noise. Mind you, don't dilly-dally out there, though. Sleeping enemies usually wake up eventually. My birds are geniuses. It's my birds who've been issuing orders from my shelter. Turns out they can do much more than just imitate people's voices. They can operate delivery terminals, too. Okay, keep visiting them. Sam, I want to see you again. Sam, I'm waiting for your delivery, Sam. Sam, I love you, Sam. Interesting. Interesting. We won't worry about that, I'm sure. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. There's nothing to worry about but the, you know, birds that are intelligent. That's not scary in the least. Easter gaming? Oh yeah, we're doing some Easter gaming. We had a nice, little brunch with the with some friends in the area, and now it's just a nice evening hanging out and playing Death Stranding gaming. I think that's good. And we'll say hi to Tomorrow.
Raindrops are falling on my head. Oh, just a little longer, okay? Raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those
Norman Reedus?
raindrops
Yeah,
are
he's the
falling
main
on
character is
my
Norman
head, they
Reedus.
keep falling. You know this song? So I just did me some talking to the sun.
That's Elle Fanning too.
And
There's
I said I didn't like
quite
the
a few
way he got things done.
famous people.
Sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know. The blues they send
And
to
Asian
meet
lady.
me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Okay. all
Raindrops
done.
keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red.
Okay. See ya. See ya, Luke. Wait until Luke sees the character played by Tucker Carlson. He'd go crazy. Shia and Death Stranding 3 would be crazy.
Are you alright, Sam? That was a gatequake just now. It seems Westport Knot was hit hard, and their Cairo printer is no longer working.
Oh.
I'm afraid we won't be able to continue expanding the network until it's back up and running. Pick up your next main order via the terminal at the F2 South Distribution Center.
That's not good. Dollman?
Necrobiotes are fascinating. And they seem to have become more commonplace lately as well. Ever since you and I were swallowed up by that tar fall, to be specific. This sudden increase in the population should be considered yet another example of an environmental
Who's
anomaly.
this Joker?
If we successfully extend the
Whoa,
network
whoa, whoa,
across
whoa.
the continent and
This is
trigger a plague
Dollman.
gate to appear, such anomalies should begin to wane.
Grep, you need to watch The Chosen. This is the guy who plays Jesus in The Chosen.
So, Samson Hook from the F2 South Distribution Center is not a man to be trifled with, no sir. I did some research, and I found he's a popular local figure, beloved by one and all, it seems. Known as the Golden Fist as well. But don't misunderstand. I'd wager the people's love for him is not rooted solely in his considerable martial prowess.
Grep, have you also seen? I don't know how much you've seen of this game, but George Miller of Mad Max fame is also a character. Ooh. We'll go around the edge and we'll see everything. Oh, let's see. Messed that up. There's social media. Okay. We'll prepare the stuff you need. It'll be ready for the delivery by the time you get here, Sam. Okay. We'll deliver some stuff. Kojimbo loves his directors. Do we? Here. I don't want to misquote him. There's a quote about Kojima and George Miller. He's like, I need to do the search real fast. Ever since I saw the first film when I was 16 years old, George Miller has saved me, encouraged me, and changed my way of life countless times. He is my God, and the saga he tells is my Bible. What a quote. I don't know if there's a... I don't know if there's another quote you could ever put together that could hope to, to get close to that. I don't need any of this stuff. Probably should put on some better camo though. Look at the squares. Poor George Lucas in Death Stranding 3 coward. True. He's just not brave enough. Oh, I thought we were gonna get another cutscene. Plugging in. Oh, connect Hartman's lab. Let me see Hartman again. Probably. Raindrops. This is gonna get stuck in my head. Something about double jumping. That's just so satisfying.
So you made it out okay. Those tremors were intense. But we're doing
Put
fine
Mike's to
here.
Colossus in
I
Death
think
Stranding
Westport Knox
3.
got the worst of it though. Your cargo has already been prepared. If you could
Rich
deliver it
Evans
to
for
Westport
Death
Knox
Stranding
as
3.
quickly as you can,
He would make the
that'd be
greatest, like,
We need to support each other at times like
random...
these. So pick up the priority
That would
order
be so
and
much better
deliver
than the
it
Conan
right
O'Brien
away.
cameo in the last game. Okay, let's see what order this is. Take 300 pounds of stuff over. And recover. Oh, I see, I see. I think we'll do that next time. We're gonna figure out what's going on with this stuff, and then we'll probably do that first. I guess his Hartman's lab is the one on the way, maybe? Do I have to fix something over here? Oh, I do have to restore this to be able to do that. And I can get most of the way. Oh, okay, so wait, we might as well stop by here and get this. 360, 160, 360. The least interesting part for everyone else, I imagine, is me thinking about how many of these things I need to upgrade and bring to make things work. We'll probably go. Oh, we'll go to the mine. Yeah, we'll go over here to this like layer, this track layer on the mine. Yeah. And then this will take us like straight there.
Delivery route finalized.
Yeah, it should be good. Oh. Go to vehicle management. We'll take your off-roader. Throw all this stuff in. Fabricate? No, we don't want to fabricate. We want to... Oh, gosh. Auto arrange the cargo. Recycle stuff. don't want this. We want this battle scope. What do we have in our bag? Shotgun. This old battle scope one we can just throw in the private locker. Okay.
Vehicle ready.
We'll then pick up some stuff and we'll be on our way. Perfect. So it was. That one's fully upgraded. Not that one. It was this one. 160, 360.
Order accepted. Thank you.
Be back later, hopefully. Dinner prep. Happy Easter. Have a good one, Grub. Enjoy your Easter. 160. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Let's do this. Big guy carry lots of stuff. The Rock in 3 with Vin Diesel as Little Rock. Little Rock Arkansas. See if we can jump the river. That did not leave the ground. Westford not is. I don't know if we can handle more stuff, but. Westford not F1. Okay. Because if we drop this all off, this isn't the one we want. That's the one over there. Okay, someday. Again, we'll figure this all out. I guess while we're hanging out, I have to think of something else to talk about. So yeah, continuing on with with the audience, and how to respond to it. It's like, how much do you? I think both have been in Big Bad Guy with the baby movie. The Rock and Vin Diesel. Yes. The Pacifier is one of them, maybe? That's the way. Ooh, nice. Yeah. This one, yeah. Okay. Try out this. Do you think Norman Reedus could pull it off? The big bad guy with the baby? Part of me thinks he could. It's funny that Nicolas Cage's performance in... what's the movie with him with the babies? Preceded all that. Can't believe I forgot it. But it's the one where he's Raising Arizona. That's the other classic. Yeah. I love that movie. But I'm just a sucker for the Coen Brothers movies. Always feels like a good time. in the world is that thing? I cannot tell. Oh, we'll pick it up at the end.
Gotcha.
More resins.
Wowzer!
I don't have a good feeling about the baby rooms. The room is dry where my seed cannot find purchase. It's classic. I think I might be saying what everybody else has always said about Nicolas Cage, but Nicolas Cage is one of these people that, like, a director has to know how to use what he brings to the table. I don't know if most people know how to do that. You can just cross this one. Well, you just have such an exaggerated performance, but if the director knows, like, okay, you need to calm down here. Oh no. It's another song I'm gonna have to cut out of the final VOD. If the director knows that, they can do something with it. I think the problem happens when no one has a plan for it, and Nicolas Cage is just, you know, doing his own thing. Because why not? Why wouldn't he? We're going to definitely capture this kangaroo, though. Get over here. This is good capturing kangaroos music. Yeah, we'll throw in the kangaroo. You need a kangaroo saddle now? I think he's so small. I don't know how also Norman Reedus is just strong enough to I don't know. Have you seen the videos of the kangaroos? Or the pictures of the kangaroos? And they're just like flexing. And they just look like bigger than any bodybuilder you've ever seen. They just are huge. I'd never want to fight a kangaroo. I feel like that's an easy death sentence. Oh, why are you picking up that?
Look, that one.
Okay. You can pick up stuff, I guess. But this one's a little bit better.
Now leaving chiral network coverage.
That's the way.
Nice. Viscous rubber. I guess we'll just throw stuff in. Oh, that is so deep water? Okay. This is not gonna happen.
Gotcha.
Maybe if we're able to fix this, we can do that, but... Nice.
Look, that one. Snag.
You're getting everything for the inventor, but we don't have any way to get there. Okay. Let's see what we can do. That's not horrible. Still gonna need a little bit more. It'll give us a good excuse to come back, though. the round trip. Carry some stuff. Yeah. Should be pretty easy. Delivery left. Special alloy. What is this mine? Special alloys? Yeah, I guess we could like upgrade it on the other side. But yeah, we'll use the monorail. We want to go. Could I even get there? Without the stop, I feel like you just couldn't even get there. Yep. We want to get on there. I don't think we have anything else we want to carry, so we're just gonna go. Nice and chill.
You'd better hold on tight if you want to stay safe.
The baby is just having the time of his life. I'm also scared that there's some implications that the baby might not be doing all right, but that's another whole thing. Okay, every time I think about it, by the time I get back in the brew, we're gonna have this delivered. But this whole idea of like audience and making stuff for a specific audience, I've been trying to think about, you know, at least how do you start, right? How do you begin to kind of communicate, at least in a way that you can understand, like yourself, you know, and then build out from there. Being able to start to, like, the best way to learn something is to teach it to someone else. But you do have to meet a minimum level of knowing it before you can teach it. And so how do you kind of do that? And part of that is just, like, honestly processing, like, what it is that you're thinking is important. We'll deliver stuff. Yes. Deliver all of that. Okay. Might take the inventory stuff with us, maybe? See if we can drop it, maybe?
Sam, I'm so
be the
glad
best way
to
to
see
go.
you again. We just got hit by a massive quake. I was afraid you might have got hurt out there, or worse. Anyway, I'll check your cargo.
Or worse.
This cargo is in fabulous condition. I mean, it's really quite impressive.
All in a day's work, all in a day's work.
It's like a dream come true, this showing up on our doorstep. We'd written it off.
But you made our day.
Now displaying your current
You're really far from that 4-star. Got some stealth though. Speeds up the rate of transfusion from blood bags. That's kind of nice, huh?
Thank you so much. We should be able to get our chiral printer in working order now. I've never felt tremors like that before. Not even when the tar currents were acting up. It makes me pretty concerned about other folks living nearby. But at least the monorail you patched up seems to be none the worse for wear. Hey, out of curiosity, have you restored any of the other large mines?
They'd be a great source of materials if you were ever in need.
Other large mines?
There are a few large mines in the northern part of the continent, not far from where you'll find North Fort Knot. Or where you used to be able to find it, I should say, before it was wiped off the map by a void out. As for the mines, no one knows if they were obliterated too. But if you happen to be headed that way, you might want to see if they're still around.
And other folks nearby.
Are you familiar with the island that lies north of our facility here at West Fort Knot? Well, there's a shelter on that island. The man who lives there only cares about his research and never talks to anyone. But I can't help worrying that he might have been hurt during the tremors. You've been
Alright, I
such
best
a big
head
help
off.
to us. Rest assured, our staff will see that everyone gets their share of the aid packages you delivered. A lot of people are going to be singing your praises before too long. Best of luck to you with everything.
Thanks for all your hard work. Everything there seems to be in order. But one cannot help but wonder what other facilities were affected. Anyway, you can pick up your next order from the F2 South Distribution Center. This one's a rescue mission, Sam. Someone's been taken hostage by the armed survivalists, and we need you to extract them to safety.
Ooh.
The survivalists have been known to kill people, so you'll want to take extra care when preparing for this one. Oh, and it seems the tar currents have finally stabilized. So the D3 Magellan should be able to travel without issue. Call us if you need us. All right, Sam. Good luck.
Nice. Okay.
Order completed. Well done.
Destroy the tar drugs. And recover mystery cargo. I'm back. Wait on that. It might be good to take the time ball device. We'll wait on that. Won't trust the kangaroo. We'll keep everything else.
Your service in transporting this cargo is appreciated. The delivery will be assigned to another porter.
Then we should find out what we need for this one. 400 resin, 120. Everyone has a baby kangaroo. Mine is pink. Yours is blue. Where did they come from? I never knew. But everybody's got a baby kangaroo. What a classic. Sometimes I think people think I'm crazy for remembering stuff like that. I mean, not for remembering, but you know, for okay, I forgot the numbers though. I need to remember these numbers. What are these numbers? This number was 400 resin, 120 special. 400 resin. Oh. 401. Let me make this easier. They do not have enough. Oh wait, no, resin. 400. And 120 special alloy. And that's what we need. And we throw them on the truck. And then we go and we ride back using the monorail. The mine. And then we load vehicle. In the elevator. And we get on ourselves. Especially if no one's seen VeggieTales before. They're just totally lost.
Now this is living!
This is living. Look at that water. Everybody's got a water buffalo. Who's this fast, but mine is slow.
Now leaving chiral network coverage.
Isn't it strange how we all just have a water buffalo? No one's ever known where it comes from. I probably should speak closer to the mic. Hopefully it's not too loud. I was gonna think about something to say about Easter. Strange thing is, this season I didn't do a great job of thinking about Lent very much. Like the last few years, I've done a really good job about thinking about Lent. Strangely enough, Easter hit me a little bit harder this year, though. It's just something that was more on my mind and more salient, as they say. It's on my salience hierarchy. Chris Howard knows the deep magic. He knows how to evoke the magic and remind me of the lore. The deep lore. Special alloys. Oh, we probably should pick up. I am just not paying attention to the stuff, my job right now. But I need the stuff. How else am I going to fix the world if I don't have chemicals and special metals? We'll pick up these, we'll go over to the next one, and we'll fix the monorail. And encounter the inventor, maybe. Oh, these stupid things. Get them away from me. Get them away. Okay. I think that's enough. We got like another 1,000 500 or so. It's a pretty good start.
Okay.
I'm distracted by the by the chiral crystals. I need more. These go to the south? Yeah, the south side. Just like go back that way. Okay. Yes. I guess now that we're kind of chilling, I can I'll hop in on the Discord on the side. If anyone wants to hop in, feel free. Everybody who normally hops in is I should have permission now. They should have permissions now. If you don't, let me know. I'll try to keep an eye on things. How does that sound? But I will leave it open. Maybe I'll also stream it to there. That way whoever's in the call can also be reacting in time. This doesn't seem very balanced. There's something a little off about this one. It's held by magnets. And we'll throw all these on here too.
Okay.
Resonance 400. 120 special alloy. So this can connect all the way, but I might have to drop with all this stuff to get to the inventor. So I might do that on like a second trip around. That might be the best way to go. So just swing this way. I like how this game has become a truck racing game. Just going about business. Use the monorail. Yeah, we want to use the monorail. We want to head north. And we want vehicle on there. And we want us on there. Let's do it.
Now this is living.
I was gonna talk about noir and all that and think about it, but I realize now that I'm gonna ask a bunch of questions that Skanky's gonna answer in his live stream later. He probably won't, but I think that'll be an interesting piece. I feel like every time I've seen any noir film or anything, like my sense of what the genre is doesn't really match up to any of the pieces that are actually in the genre.
Give me a break.
He's saying that because it's just rain. Does he have a bad sunburn on his face? He just might be cold.
Fuck this.
Sam just not having a good time. Oh, you know what that was? That was the stuff I left in that truck. I feel bad. I picked up that horror movie, I left it in the truck, and then I got distracted the last time. Oh well. We picked up a job. Did we not pick it up? Did we just... Oh, we definitely did not pick up that job. I'm realizing now.
Oh, I see you're back.
Dang.
I'll process you quick.
We went this whole way.
Just sit tight and give me a minute.
It's fine. We reserved this for later.
This cargo's been missing for a while.
Not everything
now.
has to be efficient.
Good, It's thanks to you that we're in a position to share
Power
this data.
gloves.
Go ahead. Give it a look.
Ooh.
Bet you could use more materials, no? Which is why we're increasing your on-site allocation.
Okay.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
This schematic is for combat power gloves.
This
Slip them on,
schematic is
you'll
for
find you hit harder than ever
power
before.
gloves.
No one will be able to.
Okay, wait. 1 second. Yeah, that's fine. There we go.
Match your strength in close combat, that's for sure. They also have a function that lets you harness energy before delivering a devastating electrical area
It's an
attack.
area attack.
Any enemies caught in the surge will absorb a concentrated electrical charge, resulting in massive damage. So even if you encounter foes with formidable defenses down the road, you'll have no trouble defeating them with these gloves. As an added benefit, they'll also improve your ability to keep your balance inclined, which should make a difference in your delivery work. Using them will consume battery power though. See that you don't run out and find yourself at a disadvantage. We don't intend to stop our research anytime soon, so you can look forward to other inventions.
Order completed.
Okay,
Well
nice.
done.
Okay. So this is that rescue mission. Probably will wait on this one. I thought about doing this. Probably wouldn't be bad. I think I might just kind of jump over to the Avenger. I'll throw a bunch of stuff on my back and then we'll trust this northern
Your service in transporting this cargo is
observatory
appreciated.
stuff.
The delivery will be assigned to another porter.
Not customization. This cargo around. Oh, yeah. We'll throw the special alloys in. Special alloys, chemicals. And then we're gonna use the monorail. Hope we have enough just to kind of do a quick drop on this guy's a lonely island.
Now this is living.
This is living. I've been I like being more, you know, there's an ease of which I can kind of talk about things that are on my mind. Is the more and more I realize that like no one would be listening. That's kind of the nice part of these quieter moments in between things. One of these is talking about the I'm still processing stuff for internet hygiene. And like, how do we take care of ourselves in the way that we use the internet? So I've been putting together a little blog post about, you know, the start of that project, kind of setting a vision for what I want that to look like and how to process where I'm planning on going with it. Could you make your voice louder relative to the game? I can also move up. Sorry, I will do both. I will make both true at the same time. And okay, I need to time this because if I don't, it's gonna be not good. Come on, come on, come on, jump, 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 jump. Whew. Okay. That was close. It was also particularly loud, so sorry about that. Deliver these. I'm also curious to find out who this guy is, so I'm a little...
What business brings you to my doorstep? Wait, are you carrying some cargo that got washed away after the quake? I'll need a moment to process and confirm. Well, where on earth
Nice, okay.
this? I've given up on ever seeing it. You, sir, are a good man, and I know I can rely on you. You're bringing people into the chiral network, yes? I'd be interested in that. Get me online.
So as I'm processing through this internet hygiene stuff, I'm kind of putting together a bunch of topics that I think would be good to kind of set this, I guess, like set the curriculum, I guess, would be one way of putting it. both for myself, as I was saying earlier, but then also, you know, everybody else that I think also would benefit greatly from kind of knowing some of these pieces. The inventor. Is there a path through the water? And among these is there's a bunch of pieces, right? There's kind of understanding the arena that you're playing in within the internet, both the internet itself and then also the corners of the internet that you kind of walk around, or avoiding kind of attention capture. What are lolcows? All these kind of things. And I wanted to crowdsource. I'll probably put it in a, I have it in a Substack article that just say, hey, anyone wants to leave a comment on what they think should be covered or all these pieces. If there are more ideas, then it'd be helpful to do that. But otherwise, just kind of keep these set of ideas as the main thing and just kind of work from there. So for the foreseeable future, that's kind of where I'm sitting.
Try it and see if you agree.
Prove useful. Oh. We got the otter hood? A hood shaped like an otter. It's designed using the inventor's intelligence and know-how. Wearing the hood makes you feel like an otter, greatly improving your swimming abilities. When equipped, Sam will automatically pull the hood over his head during periods of time fall or while swimming.
I call this an otter hood. It's an original invention of my very own. Put it on, and you'll find you can float in the water as happily as an otter. You'll never be at risk of drowning ever again. It's guaranteed to make you feel like a born swimmer, which, given the recent flooding, is great for people like me who can't swim at all. I'll bet you could find some use for it too, in your line of work.
I know all about otter hoods.
Someone else already went and made the same thing. Well, I just think otters are wonderful. You like them too, don't you? Despite being mammals, these adorable mustelids live the better part of their lives in water. Floating on the surface, flat on their backs. Grace personified.
Grace personified.
In becoming an otter, we can become one with the water. That's why I decided to create this hood. So, if someone else out there had the same idea...
Yeah, it is an Aussie knockoff of American Goods.
Maybe you could still use mine.
Conan O'Brien's cosplayer wife, I think, in the last game, is the one who invented the otter hood.
Thanks, and come back again soon.
That's all I'm saying. Is
I'll
that
try to whip up something extra special to give you next time.
Order completed. Well done.
do we have to craft it? Or is it just a thing? Might just be a thing. Yes, sir, got mine recently. Exactly. And I remembered that lore correctly, right? That's one piece of lore that just sticks in my mind. Okay, what orders do I need to take? Deliver that to... We'll take some nets back. Yeah, that'll be an easy trek. I guess we could take both, really. Also, when Mama upgraded my handcuffs, I nearly cried. I mean... I miss her character so much. She's one of those few characters that's just not, like, she's not gonna have anything more, I don't think. I think her stuff is all done. Do you have to manually clip it? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it was Conan with the otter. I'm trying to remember all the all this stuff is so full of references. It's sometimes hard to remember. Okay, okay, okay. Hopefully, it's gonna be fine. Oh, there's a path through the water. So I guess you didn't really have to. And also, if you missed it, maybe you wouldn't die. I think that's the idea. But if I go through here... I think it works still. I need to get better at rambling. If this is going to be the gameplay. Maybe the start is not, it's something else. Oh, dang it, there's inventor parts over there. I think he needs to, you know, not be living out in the middle of nowhere. This does not feel fun to get to. I remember playing through Death Stranding for the first time was one of those just like really life-changing experiences, and mostly it was just due to COVID. Like, I was going through that game in the middle of being disconnected from everybody, and it was just, it felt like so perfect for the moment that no other game had ever done. And again, it wasn't really intentional, it's just kind of how it happened. Can I speed up? Okay. And, yeah. It kind of blew my mind in a lot of ways. What you could do with art and, you know, how you could make something that, you know, is so perfect for the moment. Okay, let's see if we can just jump out across half this. There we go. Don't have to deal with that. There's the other one.
Covered everything then. Great. Let's get it delivered.
Real question is, why is there not more parkour in Death Stranding? There we go. Maybe we'll take this too. And so, like, I mean, of all the things, somebody left a whole bunch of special alloys here? I mean, can I just throw them in to upgrade? Yeah. Let's do it. I will take that. That's very nice. How much more do you need? 960 of resin? It seems like a lot, but we can see. So when I'm trying to talk to everybody about video games and how it's had an effect on me. Oh, Ron is commenting, but it's empty?
Now this is living.
Oh, there it goes. It just loaded for some reason. It just took forever. But when I try to talk to people about video games, especially around here in TLC, it can get really difficult because how do you communicate these experiences? And how do you not, you know, get people to react in certain ways? For example, I don't know how much I can share, just because I try not to get anybody else in trouble. I don't think it's that sensitive, but I'll kind of make things a little bit more ambiguous. But somebody I know was talking about video games as being an alternative, or I guess as like an alternative to other types of screens. You know, like, wouldn't it be better to focus on a video game or like some sort of long form thing instead of short form content that's kind of taken over everything? There's just this kind of like disconnect and just of the scrolling constant feed, and that is a total disconnect with a certain generation that sees all screen time as, you know, a really negative experience. I think it just fails to kind of be able to tell a qualitative difference, or to know that there are like better and worse trade-offs.
Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
And sometimes, you know, you just need to like push people into better places. If it's the screen's equivalent of a novel, I think so too. Like, I think there are a lot of brain dead games, but I'd say even some brain dead novels I've been having a good time with. I've been having a good time with the Dungeon Crawl Carl, which is basically the equivalent of like an isekai or like light novel in an American context. It's very much kind of junk food, but at least it's reading. I think it gets away with it on the other ends. Like, if you're going to be playing video games, you might as well have it be like somewhat deep or somewhat like contemplative. If you're going to be, you know, reading, maybe it's okay if it's a little lighter. I don't know. That's what I tell myself to get myself to read sometimes.
We hope you'll visit us again soon.
But I think there should be, in most things, there should be depth. Or at least try for it. I think that's some of the best things you can ask for. We're going to take on the order to deliver stuff here. I don't want to have to deal with this delivery. When do you think video games matured enough to be worthwhile? I mean, I think they matured enough to be worthwhile a long time ago. You just need to know what you're looking for, right? Like, it's the same thing if somebody asked me, like, when did you think, like, rap music matured enough to be, like, considered art that's worth kind of going over in a classroom or something? I'm like, I would say not all, like, rap is worthwhile, just like most music in general. Like, you can't necessarily do that with. But there definitely has been from the beginning, like, art that's worth looking at in that way. And so I think at least like Metal Gear Solid was one of these first games that took a more kind of narrative approach and maybe would be easier to see as video games have absolutely matured. I'll admit that, but I say like again, Metal Gear Solid it's been doing that for a while. I think that first game is worth considering. I don't think we need to bring anything. More special alloys. We don't need special alloys. We'll load our vehicle. And we will get on and we'll dispatch. Video is a lesser drug? Yeah, yeah. I think for certain things, right? Like, again, there's a difference. 30 years ago, MGS1 started development. Yeah. Yo, how's Dungeon Crawl Carl? I heard a lot of people talk about it. Did you play any TTRPGs lately? D&D? Lately, I don't know if I've done too many. I had a game of... oh, what's the game called? I feel horrible for not remembering. It was this like King Arthurian legend inspired TTRPG, but it was like super light on like systems based. Like you had like 3 stats and they were also health bars, and so if they went down you would like die. I was running this game. I want to play it again. Grepwood might remember this one. We were playing for a while. Dungeon Crawl Carl is fun just in the fact that it's like an isekai, but I don't have to deal with like, you know, all the other parts of an isekai. I can just kind of have fun reading a book. So that's a good one. You DM a Dungeon Crawl Classics game. Pendragon? It's not Pendragon, it's oh my gosh, I'm gonna look it up. Also, I'll comment more on MGS. I just need to remember this game. They gave us a long time to get off if we wanted to. Okay. Look at my... Is Critical Drinker in Dungeon Crawl Carl? I thought I saw that on Twitter this week. I saw that on Twitter this week too, that the writer... Like, Mythic Bastion Land is the name of the game. Yeah, Mythic Bastion Lands. That's a really good game. It's on, get it on itch.io. All the PDFs you can get for like 20 bucks maybe. Definitely worth it. There's a few reviews online too. I learned about it from the Quinn's Quest review. He did some good stuff. And he talks all about the system, and so if you have any interest, it's a good place to start just to see if you like it. But yeah, I think the writer of Dungeon Crawl Carl was trying to distance himself from Critical Drinker, and I don't know. There's a weird kind of dynamic of Critical Drinker has kind of been the way he is for for a long time. So it's weird to kind of connect yourself with him and then disconnect. I don't know what fueled that. That feels very sudden. Also, this book OG Rose has me reading is going to open up a new line of inquiry regarding video games as art. Excited to share it soon. I'm excited to hear it. I think that's a conversation that's been going on for a bit. Okay, I got distracted about the TTRPG stuff. Video games maturing. So like MGS was doing some pieces with engaging the medium, like what are the limitations and what of the medium, and like how can it be used to communicate a story effectively. I think that's like kind of the core of art as it is, and makes things worthwhile. I think that's kind of what Plato gets at early about like what are the limitations of the written word really early on. In the same way, like what are the limitations of video games, and you know, what can they do? Excuse me. So, we can, I don't know. I've been trying to find a way to treat MGS. Whether that's like I don't know. Streams only can do so much because they're very live and in the moment, and people don't go back to watch streams. But so have something that's referencing. What is the timeline of the games you were mentioning? So Metal Gear Solid, like if you're talking about in like real life, like when they're created, Metal Gear Solid was started development 30 years ago, is what Skank was saying. So it would be 1996. I think that's one of these early ones, and that's one of the first games that has a gosh, it has voice dialogue, like a significant amount. I don't know if there's, I don't know how much further I would go back, because I don't know if I have a reference point, but I think there are some games that are back there that have something interesting to offer, but maybe not to the extent that Metal Gear Solid kind of kicked off something. I think there are a few other games that kind of have explored this, right? The Fable games, I think, are one of these core ones as well, of exploring some of the limitations of what a video game can be, and interesting decision making. I think like Fable 2 has like a big twist about, you know, you're somebody who's vying for power, and then at a certain point in the story you have it, and then you are kind of put into a difficult situation on like, now am I going to make compromises as the person in power in order to protect these people, or, you know, like you begin to understand the enemy that you were trying to overthrow was maybe just trying to do his best, and these are ideas that like you could explore in another medium, but there's something about being embodied in that situation that's different. Okay, we solved that. There's still some guys over here. We're gonna have to do our assault and bring them back. We already have our power gloves. I'm not too worried about getting more. Do I care to take this truck anywhere? Does it have anything on it? No. No, we'll probably switch it out. I think this will be better. This way. By the way, the Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 are great. They do a good job with that too. A few twists that kind of come throughout those games. And then are also just narratively really well crafted. I still need to make my way through 2. I haven't finished it yet, but I know enough about it. And it's also just the best kind of era of Star Wars in my mind. The most interesting kind of stories can be told there. I kind of just want a junker. Yeah, we'll just take that. Dr. Borbulon's.
Vehicle ready. Please drive carefully.
It took us a while, but we're finally at a place where we're went through the combat that
This order is a hostage
Grip asked us
rescue
about.
operation. The target for extraction is this man. He was conducting a search in a mining region when communications abruptly ceased. He went there at the behest of the Dowser, who resides at the next facility you need to link up. Take heed that the mine in question is currently under the control of the armed survivalists, a faction whose members have no reservations about using
I remember playing Myst with the kids, the idea of having worlds that you build and are responsible for the unfolding. Thought that was interesting, but not completely baked. Yeah, I think there's still some work that needs to be done. And I'd say that there's still work that needs to be done.
Therefore, be prudent to bring equipment to counter these advantages. There's no telling how much longer they'll keep the hostage alive. Moreover, saving him may help us to pursue future objectives in this region and beyond. Regardless, this is a matter of life and death for the Dowser's friend. Give your preparations all due consideration. He's counting on you, Sam.
This is also one of those things that I've just kind of had ongoing conversations with a few people around this corner, especially about Af being one of them, Neil being another. Oh, I didn't want to delete that. Oh no. Okay. Liked the written word as a world builder. I think that's also another piece, which is as you get more descriptive about like what type of okay, we'll take that and then we'll go, we will somehow escape this little valley or go back around. We could just go back around, in and out would be the best way to go. And then around. Trying to go up this mountain feels like a death march. Especially if things don't go right as we're extracting. Yeah. But the written word, there's not really a limitation to it, right? Like you can just write whatever you want. As long as you can put it into words, you can do it. The next kind of difficulty is, well, then how do you do that for video games? Because there is the difficult side of, you know, making a video game, like making video game graphics. And you have to model everything. And you have to visually represent everything. And it becomes just more and more difficult to... oh no, I don't want this many. I just want maybe one. And we'll probably throw one of these in here. Stealth grenade. Stick with smoke for now. And we'll equip the combat boots. Load the rest. Oh, wait. I'll put that in a grenade pouch. Put these in our backpack. Auto range everything. In Myst, the plot used to be the wizard who wrote books which created worlds, and sometimes the worlds would go wrong or have flaws, very Genesis-like. I'll have to go back and play it. Like, that's something that my parents, like, played together. As a, you know, younger married couple. It was just an activity they got to play video games together like that. But I never really took the time to pick it up or try it. I think my dad was who introduced me to video games. Oh, and the son of the wizard went rogue and some of the worlds had to be destroyed or he destroyed them. Interesting. But my dad introduced me to video games, and I think it wasn't too long after... Oh, I kind of want this down here. Yeah, this shouldn't be too hard to pick up. I keep interrupting myself. So my dad introduced me to video games, so I definitely got that from him. But I think our interests diverged pretty fast. I was very interested in more turn-based RPGs and all these kinds of things. Like, I really loved the idea of an RPG. That just like really clicked with me. And my dad preferred like RTSs, like single-player RTSs, and I think it's mostly like he really did, I think, enjoy RTS games and like tactical shooters and stuff like that. And so I played Star Wars Battlefront with him back in the day, and beyond that, we kind of diverged in our video game habits and tastes. There's been a few times I've tried to introduce him to something, and it just never really stuck. Ooh. It doesn't look fun to go around. And it's just a little difficult to kind of communicate a love for something. I think partially because it can just be hard to do it. See you later, going out for a bit before it's dark. Yeah, enjoy the night, Chris. Have a good one. And thank you for joining, hanging out. It's been good chatting.
Stretch my legs.
14 guys. Sheesh. Oh, by the way, the Discord is open if anybody wants to hop in. I think I gave everybody permissions and everything who's in the Discord that I know. Did I not give it to Dashing Slasher? Okay. He also has it now. But if anybody needs it. We'll start our infiltration now. Oh, yikes.
Armed survivalists.
Okay, so there's two down here. They're looking around. Probably should pull out our pistol. Right. I'm worried about the guy up there. I feel like he's not one we should really be messing around with too much. He's like looking my way. Okay. Okay. There we go. So this guy's in here. 400 medals. Dang. Hello, hello. Hey Ron, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, there you are.
Hello, Mr. President.
Hi, how's it going?
How is it going, guys?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm working on extracting a hostage right now.
Your hostage. You have a hostage situation. I gotta get my video going here.
Oh yeah, there's a hostage situation right now. Oh, and somebody might have gotten a little suspicious of me walking around their base. Okay, turned around, but oh, somebody else too. That's not good.
I've got really bad Wi-Fi because I burned up all my data. So I'm gonna see if I can turn on the video screen and watch you play and talk. If not, I'll have to just be watching by braille.
If you need, you can just do the stream if that works better.
Let me try something here.
Oh no.
I think I got it squared away. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, cool. I've got another tab open up somewhere. I gotta figure out where it is.
Goodness.
Got it. All right. Now we're saving data. So what were you talking? Anything? Are you talking about anything in particular?
No, I'm just kind of going around different topics, just things that come on my mind. We were talking a little bit about video games as art, I think, for a little bit there. I was talking a little bit earlier about this idea of how important an audience is in making things, and you know, sometimes I think we put a lot of thought into how we communicate things to other people, but then also trying to find out when is that too much and when is that, you know, not enough thought is going into that.
When would it be too much? That's interesting.
Yeah, I think there are times when I'm working on something and I'm worried about what other people are going to think about it or see. And so that kind of stops me from, oh gosh, that's not good. 1 second. I'm going to,
You must live.
yeah, I was gonna say.
The man we came to rescue appears to be.
I can't die like him.
Place him in a protective bag and get.
But you must live.
All right, time to take our ailing friend to the Dowser shelter. We just need to figure out how to get over these mountains first.
They're distracted by my guns I left on the ground, so.
Just a random side note. I just got done making a gallon of mixed berry wine.
Oh, nice.
I think volume-wise, it's going to turn into like it's a lot. It's more than a gallon. I would like to share it someday with everybody.
Yeah. I'm excited to be able to try it some way.
Well, and here's the thing, like I was gonna honestly try to mail some to the fellas for the camp out, but mailing alcohol is like really frowned upon by mail service, blah blah blah. And I know
Yeah, it can make it tough.
Yeah, and like you can mail, let's say, this actually came from ChatGPT. It goes, now, it's not quite legal, but if you said it was like olive oil or vinegar, you can do it. And I'm like, man, you know, way to be shady, GPT, but no.
It's just like them to, like, oh, yeah. I'm actually surprised it went that far. That's a...
I'm like, yeah, nice little guardrails. I was pretty happy with the answer, but I really didn't want to do that.
No, yeah. Don't blame you. We'll just have to find a way. We'll do a handoff.
Yeah. Good old-fashioned handoff. Also, I don't mind sharing the recipes because it's incredibly simple to make this stuff.
Oh, nice.
I mean, oh yeah. Uncomplicated. You know, that's all it is a clean bottle, good water, sugar or honey, and then you can even use bread yeast, or you know, you can buy kind of like brewer's yeast at the brewing store or order it online. It's like $1 for a few grams, but bread yeast works as well in a pinch. And you just mix the stuff together and then kind of set it in a nice dark cool place and let it bake for a while. It takes time, that's all. And quality depends on, I don't know, really ingredients, if they're good and nice basic balance. You just give it a long time to ferment. And that's my distraction. You were talking about distractions with guns on the ground. That was my distraction.
Perfect. It was just enough time for me to get everybody just distracted enough to be able to get me out of there with this guy. I think he might be finally awake. He's nodding now. But yeah, the part I was getting at with the audience piece, a while ago, April asked me the question, you know, like, who are you making things for? Or like, what do you want people to take away from it? And I don't know, that's been kind of one of those questions that I've asked myself a lot, or have been processing a lot. And sometimes that's been the type of question that keeps me from making things. And trying to also think about, like, well, maybe it's just okay that I am making things for myself if I just want to make them. But then there also comes a time when you're making things, or you're doing something and you're doing it for other people. And you know, what consideration goes into there? Like, how much do you, whenever you are making something for someone else, you're not necessarily compromising, but you are, you know, changing what you're doing to better appeal to that person, to be able to do things. What was she making things for? What am I making things for? What are you making things for? Hey, that's the question, right? Like, that's what Skank was saying, by the way.
Okay.
Jeff, but yeah.
Well, I got an idea for you. And you probably already know this, but I knew a writer, and she was good, brilliant. And she said, never be afraid of a crummy first draft. And she used a bunch of salty language. It's pretty much like, don't worry about it being garbage on your first go around. Get something in on paper. And I think that goes for anything. When you're crafting something, don't worry. It's easier said than done, but just to get past that locking phase when you're in some sort of cycle where you're fixated on doing it right, and because of that you won't move. It's more just do something.
Yeah.
You know, it's when has it been? Has there been a real life application where it was too much when you got in your on a job or a project, or
I think it
and then
happens
how'd
all
you
the
get out of
time.
it?
Like when I'm trying to work on a project, 'cause that thought always comes back to me is how do I what are other people going to think? Maybe it's not quite the same thing. So that does go into it, is that you sometimes when you're making stuff, you're like a children's book author, right? When they have a story idea, they're going to communicate it in a different way than any other kind of writer.
There's something special about you.
They have to kind of make sure that it appeals to the audience that they're looking for, because that's what makes their art good, is that they're making something that is good for children. It doesn't mean dumbing it down, but it means like making it appropriate and then also accessible and all these other considerations.
Right.
And then it's like, what are you doing things for, right? Is what Skank is saying. And that feels like it's just another layer on top of all of it, which is like, why? Why are you doing things? And it's a little bit easier when you have when you're doing something for a job, like you have a person that you're, I'm trying to satisfy the needs of my boss or of the customer. But when things are kind of self-started, it's like, well, what am I even looking for out of this? It's easier to outsource that to somebody else.
Well, all right. Then I always go back to I always go back to psychology, and then you're doing it in and with and for love, the love of it, or the experience of love that you have in your heart, or the joy of it. Like at this point, the wine, I'm not really interested in drinking it. I mean, I am, but like today I gave away my first bottle. It was lemonade wine. I made it for my friend. She likes sour fruit kind of stuff, and I don't. And I made it for her. And like I knew I crafted it okay. And when she tasted it, she loved it. And I'm like, that made my day.
Yeah.
So when you can do something that brings you joy, making it, and then you see someone really get it and maybe like it more than you do, or a job well done, better than what you thought.
Yeah.
That.
I think I have a habit of leaning towards sharing things more often than doing them by myself.
So I'm a part
You know,
of the global network now.
there's very few things that I've written that I either don't plan on sharing or, you know,
As thanks,
haven't shared.
I've shared the schematic for a level
Or,
2
you know.
CC. I sense you'll need to build all kinds of
I don't-
structures to deal with the obstacles you're going to encounter from here on out. For instance, this
And maybe
North
this is all
CC
just
will allow you to
internal
fabricate zip
Noah
lines.
psychological stuff that just needs to be dealt with after a while, and it's just me working through it. So that might be part of it too.
I also have a
Well,
gift
but
to
what
share.
if it's more like a diary? Some things aren't meant for the public.
Throw it on
Yeah,
and it'll allow
definitely.
you to carry heavy cargo with
Okay.
relative ease.
I'm kind of defending you,
Prepare to be amazed
and
when
as
you
far
give
as
it a
freaking
boost. You'll run
out
faster
things
than
in
ever,
public, I
and
think
you'll
that's what
be farther
TLC
too.
is. It's just
That's
cheap
a signature
therapy.
feature.
So,
It also has
what
shock
seems to
absorbers
be
that reduce the damage you take from a big drop.
What seems to be the what?
But don't forget that boosting
the
consumes
problem?
battery
The
power,
problem?
so
You know,
make sure you've got enough
you can
when
press
move to
1 for
an
Chad, suck it up.
And in case
You
you're
could be
wondering, that friend
2
of
for
mine
Neil.
rescued is doing
Well, the axiomatic understanding of it, and then, you know, for Grim, press 3 and you get a savings through.
I think it's part of it's just like me. Like I think I'm the problem. The Taylor Swift song. In a certain sense of like, well, no, in the sense that like I get in my own way a lot.
I hate to inconvenience you,
Hmm.
especially since
And trying
I'm
to
be able to make this request
get out of my own
and
way.
save them. Oh, by the way, do you like
Um,
apples? My friend brought a few back with him.
And trying to
It's just a
reduce
shame you
the
grabbed them before they'd fully ripen. He's got
the
a bit of
pressure
an
in
impulsive
other ways.
nature. Just his
So I think I
way.
put a lot of pressure
But don't
on
worry,
myself
they'll be ready
to
to eat soon enough. I'll send them to you then.
Mm-hmm.
to have things received a certain way or to like
I'm glad you
have
were
an
able to
outcome
get them out safe.
and just being like
Right.
okay to let things fail and just to get better at things.
Those weapons they were carrying were state of the art.
Okay.
You'll need to keep an eye out for them in the
So is that the way
Proofs
you,
like these make me nervous about
Oh,
letting tomorrow spend time outside.
you like you're cool if things
Even though
fail?
she's doing better.
You know,
Oh, I'm
like,
not like that, but I want to be like that at least.
You should see for yourself how much
Okay.
progress she's made.
have you ever had success in that area? Doing that?
I'm sure
Doing that?
Dolman's tired too.
Yeah.
Little bits here and there.
Alright.
But not super often.
But you have.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is,
Appreciate your efforts.
if you won once, you can win again. And you just figure out what you did and do it again. And until you have that moment, you don't despair. You know, you might be going through the valley of suck for a little bit, but you know you're not.
Gotcha.
You might camp there, but you don't have to live there. You're just in a wilderness, you know, just it's going through a tough landscape. But there's usually some sort of growth and development while you're there. And I hate it, but it seems like that's the only place where you can grow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not the only place, but
That's the best place to, it seems. Yeah.
I'm getting tired of growth. I want. Where's the easy button? But there doesn't seem to be one too often. But I have seen them. There are easy buttons here and there. What has ever surprised you? Because I hear what you're saying about your shortcomings. What are the attributes that are good in you that help you get through it and maybe have been getting stronger and that you think might help you, that have helped?
I don't know. I think maybe this isn't. I have to think about the if this is applicable, but I think being able to see connections in things and to, I mean, TLCs we're kind of all relatively high in openness, and so that's been helpful. I think the problem is, like, being high in openness towards yourself is a little bit more difficult.
That's interesting. Hi, can you explain that to me? I like that. That was interesting.
Well, like, So, like, my reaction, or my first thought is something like, what do I mean by that? I think. Like, I'm okay with other people trying and failing. But but if I try and fail, I'm kind of harsh on myself.
Gotcha.
And so, learning to, I don't know, like, be okay with that, like, to have that grace. I think part of it is, like, it's easy to kind of say, like, well, nobody else, if everybody's kind of harsh on themselves, then it all kind of works out. And I think that's kind of the way that I've taken it. But it's not very helpful in the end. And so, I feel like I'm just kind
Can you
of,
repeat?
yeah, kind of rambling now, but...
No. Because actually that sounds pretty accurate. You sound, dude, that's everybody. That's just, I think everybody's like, I don't want to say, you know, like, I suck, you know, it's like, that hurts my heart. Because I think it happens to everybody. And you know, there's you know, you can call it negative self-talk. You can call it, I don't, you know, there's all kinds of ways of presenting it. You know, fallen nature is one. It's real easy in my world. I'd be like, no, that's just fallen nature that has to be replaced with one of two ways. It can be through understanding truth, replacing a lie with truth, which is
Good to see you. I'll check the orders in
very
the system
effective,
right away.
actually. Like, once you find out the reality of the script in life, it gets easier. Like, that we are loved. That even if you do mess up, and it's not to doom us, but dude, we will. It's okay.
I've increased your
There's
allocation of materials.
grace for that.
You should make good use.
And then if you can be graceful, and then when in your mind you can get that in your head, it oftentimes, when it sinks into your heart, there is a profound, I don't want to define it totally, other than I'll say things get pretty cool and groovy. Whereas if someone was nervous, they get calm. If they're angry, they get peaceful. If they're scared, they get, you know, bold. But there's a balance that happens that's proper, that we were meant to live it. And, you know, for me, it'd be Christianity, but I think there's, what I'm talking about actually can happen to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. That's not necessarily Christian, but the principle, once you get that, has a positive effect. What do you think? Now I feel like I'm rambling.
Well, no, I see that. Like, you know, as you kind of draw closer to Christ, you become more like him, and the things that, you know, fall short of that are, you know, the fear and the anxiety and all these things.
Right.
But it's kind of learning to live in the middle, right?
Thank you, God.
To know that you're not there yet, and it's going to be a while.
Right.
It's both difficult, but then also it's, you know, it's just part of the process. That's
I think, yeah.
like you're not
If you
gonna.
can understand.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we're not there, and it's okay.
Mhm.
I'll be. It's so funny. I hope it's proper. What would be the word when you're dissatisfied? Like, I know it's okay, but I'm not okay with being okay with it. I think it's a desire, a proper desire
Mhm.
to do better and to experience more in a good way. And and I'll frame it as, quote unquote, his love, his presence, however that may be for you. When you do encounter that, it gives you the ability to be merciful to be honest, mostly on ourselves. And then when we're merciful on ourselves, then we could be merciful on others.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't happen, if we think we suck, then usually we think everyone else sucks. So we see the attributes in them that we think, they should be dealing with or we can't tolerate. Not that I'm speaking from personal experience at all.
Yeah.
Being in one of the challenging, not challenging in a good, challenging, but to be honest, eye-opening. When I encountered God, it was very woo, and there was no rhyme or reason. Like, couldn't put it down in a book to clarify. But then when I went to Southwestuary, so many, not accountants, what were they? They were basically mathematicians. And how they came to Christ was seeing patterns on a global scale.
Yeah.
And that blew my mind. It was like I was looking at the desert and thinking there was no life in it and that nobody could cross that desert. And then I come to find out all y'all, or quite a few of you, in that way. And I'm pretty impressed. And so when you said you recognize, so I'm trying to figure out which way to take this. Because it goes back to being okay with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you can, that's actually when you'll be the most creative.
Okay. Sorry, I may have missed that last part. I think.
When you are okay with yourself, I think that's when anyone can be their most creative.
Yeah.
That one, I like that. I didn't see that one coming. I mean, it makes sense. It's not that. I don't know.
And I think there is and that's what I was trying to get at the other day on Pulse Stream, was that we have a tendency to like be very drawn to authenticity, and there's kind of two routes to authenticity. One is to be not a good person.
Huh. Okay.
And it's to be saying like, oh, I know I'm a bad person, and that's just who I am. The other route is like being authentic in the sense that, I need to get better is another one, which is not the easiest one to hit. And the other one is, I have these ideals, and I think that that they're important and they're good, and I'm living them out. And that's like the authenticity that we all kind of strive for, kind of ultimately desire, is to be the type of person who is a saint, right? The person who there's no interface between who I want to be and who I am. You're kind of all the way in.
Okay. Yeah.
Aaron's kind of pointing to it with like live like Christ. Like that's kind of what that is. Is like if somebody's who is it? Irenaeus, who says the glory of God is a man fully alive.
Huh. Okay, I like that. I have not heard. I might have heard that, but I didn't know it was him, and that's cool. I think it's in my church world, or even in the TLC. I think they call it navel gazing when you are.
You're focusing a little too much on the inside.
Yeah. I think, but the thing for me is, I think being introspective isn't navel gazing. Maybe I don't know what they mean by navel gazing.
I think I'm definitely guilty of that in some ways. Of being more focused on like why I'm getting in my own way in doing what I need to get done, or all these pieces, than to actually just kind of move forward and do it.
Right. I think for me, alright, so for me what it is there is an internal presence that if I pay attention to, will get me in the right direction and will pay off. And they can tell me when to cut it out. Whatever it may be. And like I know that's not navel gazing. But it's so weird, like, when does the spiritual life stop and navel gazing begin? That's... it's just a thought, and
it's a fair question.
I think if you are... Okay, yeah, that's...
Because I think there is a certain amount of introspection you need just to function.
Right.
Right? To... I think about prayer. Like, prayer is a certain type of, not necessarily introspection, but, like, it's probably the best way to kind of look inward is with God. And you can do that in prayer.
Right.
But you can't be looking at yourself the entire time. Like, you're going to get distracted, or not going to be looking ahead.
Right.
And so how do you balance that? Like, what is the right amount of looking inward? And that's kind of what we kind of not struggle with. I would say maybe struggle with, but that might be putting too much on TLC. But I think TLC struggles with, like, how much do we look at ourselves versus how much do we just do the things? And that's the whole talking about talking versus actually talking.
Okay, so now that one I don't understand too much. Can you help me understand what you meant by that?
Yeah, like we'll talk about, like, in the TLC sometimes, we'll talk about this is how we should structure a live stream to be able to best work. And it's a good conversation to have. How much consideration should we put into the format, or how we should kind of do any number of things. Should it be open to everybody? Should it be an invite only? And there reaches a point where we're talking about doing the thing more than we are actually doing the thing.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So what does it mean to actually finally have a live stream? But if all of our live streams are about how we could do live streams, there's something missing.
Right. I got you. Okay. I think some of that shakes out after a while. I think conversation with people just, when you've driven the topic into the ground, and people are just, basically they're tired of it, or not tired of it, but they feel like they actually got an answer.
Yeah.
And to be fair, sometimes things do take a while to, well, actually, okay, but I understand what you're saying. Okay, when is enough talk enough talk?
Well, yeah, for example, I know people who, like, will write. And it's easier to talk about writing and all these kind of things than to actually do the job of writing.
Okay.
And so they'll get distracted by that, and that gets in the way. Like they're busy theorizing about doing the thing versus making the thing. And you can see this in all kind of sorts of things. Usually it's not very public because the people who talk about doing stuff all the time and never do it don't usually get seen. But
yeah. I wonder if something's important or difficult or confusing, it might take time. But after a while, okay, so talking about talking. Okay, so that's interesting.
You are going above and beyond.
Like, I'll give an example of how the thinky talky stuff has helped me. Like in my spiritual life, a pretty big one too. I still have sometimes this aggravating, painful ringing in my ears called tinnitus. Pretty mean stuff. And for the longest time, they told me it was incurable, and I'm like, all right. And the love of God was with me, so that even if I was going through pain, there would be a comfort through that. No, that's cool and all. Then I noticed it starting changing, the ringing in the ears, and sometimes it would go away. And then I started to notice it was when I would watch my thoughts. In particular, was I chewing on anyone in my head, in my heart? And if I was, it would kick up pretty hard. And now this is a joke, but it really did happen. I think you'll appreciate it. So I'm listening to a Luke Thompson stream, and he's doing this thing, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I was, I like Luke. Why? I'm friends, but when I was listening to him, it was like watching a ski slalom downhill off moguls. He's bouncing off ideas, and I'm like not agreeing with stuff, and I want to jump on the stream, and I want to disagree, and then my ears just start ringing like mad, and I'm like, wait a second. Now, all my life, yeah. So it was like a Far Side cartoon where you have that cartoon where you have the little kid with the books and it says school for gifted students. And he's pushing on the door with all his might and the door says pull. And in the moment I was listening to Luke, I realized I was incredibly wrong on how I was thinking about it. And I had a thought. I go, it's my fault that this stuff is ringing in my ears because I'm the one coming after him in my mind and heart. Like, it's his screen, they're his thoughts, And it wasn't like if I don't like it, leave, but it was more like it is his stream, and these are his thoughts, and if I don't like it, I don't have to engage.
Yeah.
And the moment I did, well, for me, that moment, I actually felt the pressure in my ears leave, and like things like dissipated. I was like, wow. I was like, no, this is huge. Something just like it's something mystical. Is like a mystical machinery that I never had control over. Like I accidentally grabbed the lever and hit the slow brake. And it was like, I don't want to say lucky shot, but it was a moment that once I recognized it, I'm like, okay, dude, we just found out something. We just figured something out. And since then, the ringing has really gone away a lot. It rarely comes back. And if it does, I'm like, oh, okay, how am I being a bud? You know, who am I? What's my attitude? who am I chewing on? Who am I not loving? And it's made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so I'm glad to share that. It's, yeah, it's my pleasure. So I wonder who else has figured out something. You know, who else has talked something through. I wonder who else has had victims. And also talking with you, when I listen, I'm like, okay, I want for others what I've seen. And I think sometimes when I hear people talk about their ability to do something, and I think it's kind of the same process. You're looking to, I don't know the exact word how to put it, but if you're evaluating yourself not in a navel-gazing way, but it might look that way, and you're trying to figure something out internally.
Let's head to our destination and make the delivery.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds
That's
like
kind of my thought.
when you were processing, the response was to kind of I'm trying to process what your response was. It sounds like it was to let go a certain amount and just say, you know, I'm trying to avoid using what Skank has said in the past because I think it's also pretty good, but maybe I'll just go with it. But he was talking about you don't have to play every game. Is the thing that he's said.
Yeah. No, I like that. That works quite well. Yeah, that's it. You don't have to. I don't have to play every game. Absolutely, I like that. I like that a lot because that collapses the whole idea down into a nice, neat package that I can understand.
And it's almost like turning the volume down as well, like in certain ways, and that's what I've been kind of in my head. That's why I have a hard time kind of getting my words out right now. Just thinking about like, in what way is that turning the volume down? I feel like that's the right image, but I don't know quite why that's the right image.
Well, I think it's symbolic. You know, it doesn't have to be an exact science to explaining it, but it works. You know, that's the image that you got. That's the one that you told me was scary. It's almost like an algorithm. Like, oh, you don't have to how did you put that? You don't have to get involved in every. Do you remember how did he put that? I like it because it was like you don't have to get involved in every.
Yeah, you don't have to play every game. I think the way he says it is like you don't have to play every game that's put in front of you, or specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
And there is a sense in which, like the way that we've been talking about it, is just kind of like actively ignoring it, but I feel like this is also an interesting layer to it that I haven't thought about, which is, you know, like, you can just let it happen. Like, it's, you don't even have to worry yourself about it. Just, like, it might just need to go on, and you can just, you know, be a passive observer and just let it go.
I like that. That Mark Parker would love that. That's very Buddhist. Just, you know, and to be fair, it's really the Buddhist, or the thing I can say accurately is, you don't give rise to thoughts, you don't extinguish thoughts, you just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And just, and that's really not all that bad.
Well, no, I've had trouble with that in some ways. Like, that's part of the reason I wrote that the Olives article, was because. Oh, do you think, or Aaron put in chat, do you think that people are kind of waiting around wait, I have something blocking the chat. Placeholder maxing. I see people without passion casually being passive with their life until something happens to them. Ron, do you have any thoughts on that one?
Placeholder maxing. That's interesting.
I would put that, if I was to put that into other words, it sounds like living on autopilot.
Right.
I know I've been guilty of that in the past. Like, throughout high school, that was kind of me. Was just kind of
Well done.
letting the world kind of go by, and not taking too active of an interest in anything in particular, which had its own kind of problems with that. But
Right. There's a kid at church that's like that. So it's almost like I asked him, like, what do you want to do? Like, he's 18. And I'm like, well, what would you like to do, you know, in life, kind of a thing.
yeah.
And he goes, I don't know. I'm like, do you like anything in particular? And he's like, no, not really. And like, it's almost like I could see him like placeholding, maxing, because he has no drive towards or draw towards something to do in life.
Yeah.
Well, that's a rough spot to be.
It's really rough.
So does that relate to someone who doesn't have a relationship with God? And I'm being I want to be careful. Well, I'll just say it. And all right, don't be afraid of a bad first draft. My opinion is, when someone doesn't have a contact with some sort of positive thought of God, or even a theology, it seems like it's hard to get enthusiastic about life. Is it almost like a depression? Or is it just a lostness? Placeholding.
I think that was almost my experience. Like, I feel like I went through something very similar to that in high school. And yeah, it felt like, I don't know, if I was to put it in something, it might have been like a depression. But it felt like just, it's easier just to disconnect and to say you don't value anything and just let things go by.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I actually had a spirit of depression. It wasn't chemical. It was actually a spirit. And now in my case, I had unforgiveness. That's what the thing was attracted to. And once I learned how to forgive, we were off to the races, and life got better. But I understand the experience of depression, and it's almost more insidious than if you're attacked by a demon. Because if you're attacked by a demon, if you have a problem in your life that you have to overcome, you at least, you have a foe. But with apathy, I don't know if that's the right word, but when you're place holding, it's like you're lukewarm. It's like you're not in pain, but you're not happy. It's that. And if you don't have anything else to gauge against, then you don't know there's more than just a baseline of where you're at. Or, wait, am I wrong on that? Do you think most people do have an internal, a modicum, some part of their heart that knows that it isn't right? Did you know in high school?
It's kind of a suppression of it, though.
Okay.
Like, it's already there, and it's easier to just, put it down.
Mm-hmm. So how'd you come out of it okay, so what was the trail that you took? How was it that thing got dealt with?
Part of what got me into it was, at least what I attribute was the way that I experienced education in my life. Like, my teachers didn't seem to care about whether or not the things they were teaching really mattered or were true. I didn't see any passion from their perspective, and so I had no interest in kind of following them with that, right? Like, I don't care about what you're teaching if you don't care about what you're teaching.
Okay.
And so I kind of let everything go from there. And then what kind of began to bring me out of it, I think I'm still kind of struggling with that in some ways, at least the vestiges of it, but was Ravi Zacharias first, talking about kind of nihilism and why Christianity is kind of incompatible, but then also why like the Christian life and way of thinking matters outside of just religion as a concept. Like, it actually has an impact on the way you live your life. I remember that being just like a crazy idea to me, which seems silly to say, but it's like, oh, this thing like matters in the way I live my life or think and all these things.
So what was the change in your thinking that you can remember that it was either first or most profound?
Just that things were connected, like that. And again, it seems weird to say, and so it's always been hard to put into words. But the idea that, like, if Christianity is true, then God touched science, right? Or like science has to do with God, and so that must mean that it's worthwhile in knowing or like learning, at least for somebody. And the same thing with math, and the same thing with everything, right? Like, everything must have some sort of meaning that's built into it, if it was part of creation. And so
I never heard it like that way. I like that.
And so then if, sufficiently, like, if I understand and love God, then I probably should love his creation and all these parts. And so, I think that can only get you so far if you, until you finally develop interest in something. But it can get you halfway, maybe. That's kind of
right. Yeah. No. Okay. So that's cool. I like that. And so that's what drew you out, yeah? Or
began to.
Yeah, I like that. Because when you were saying that, what comes to mind is that faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God. And then when you acquire those things written by God for yourself, and then by faith apply them, even if it's just raw faith, you're like, the way, because what you described was faith to me. Like, okay, I have faith that God is in all, since he made all things, he made math, and that means God's in there. And if you appropriate the words of God for yourself, and if you do it not by feelings, just by faith, that's like spark on gunpowder. God, here's the thing. God is not mocked, and usually people mean that in a like, oh, you're going to get something coming to you. But actually, it means also, if you act in faith, he's going to show up. And I think what you're describing is a lot of quite a few people that I've met at the Southwestuary in Chicago. That testimony, that pattern was incredibly common, which blew my mind. You're like, I think you're the fourth person, maybe more. Yeah, there was Jordan Hall, and then there was a friend of Sandy Bassey. She rode in with a fella from Canada, and we, I gave him a ride from the airport. And, I'm like, so how'd you meet God? That kind of moment. And he was talking how what is it when you deal with numbers on a global scale in marketing?
Okay.
And he said one day he was looking at how a fire in Africa on a crop could affect beer prices in Germany. And then he started to see these connections throughout the world. And it was, the best I could describe it is like he saw a dance throughout the world of all these connected things. And he goes, oh, I knew there, at that moment, I knew there was God. And so he was saying that, and it was such a cool moment because you could really tell, he's like, and I knew there was God. And sitting at the lunch table, there was a guy sitting there just listening to us. And he looks up and he looks at us and kind of smiles and goes, yeah, me too. And I'm like, really? It was, and that was my moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, in my opinion, came through the desert in a tougher way than me. Because I had woo and stuff and UFOs and aliens and Bigfoot, and it was just, I was just wrong. But you guys didn't have any of that, and yet you still, it at least to me, it felt like a longer, harder journey. But I think, I don't know, but but now I understand how many people are going through it, like the younger generation, like my friend at church who doesn't have much enthusiasm for anything. And when I listened to Neil's testimony, how he said it was Jordan Peterson who gave his pain and suffering meaning. And I'm still getting my head around that. But when you talked about Ravi Zacharias, I am seeing a pattern. That's a pattern that I'm seeing.
Yep. Well, and I think it's interesting to see the comparisons too, right? Like both in the similarities, but then also the interesting little differences that come up. Like for me, for a lot of those people, they were people who were outside the faith and coming in. And for me, it was interesting because I don't know, I never felt like I left anything. It was more of just like a discovery of what was always there. In some ways that comes back to me as I don't know, a little shameful that like I missed it this entire time. But
No,
You know?
no, wait, no. It's not shameful. Here's the thing. Actually, think of it this way: you're not the prodigal son. You're the good son, but you don't have a bad attitude about it. Like you never, dude. I'm the prodigal son. I was the one drinking, about to eat the slop. You didn't go bat crap crazy, but you still recognized your need. Not just your need, but because I don't want to say it like this, because if your need for a savior, because that's just not that word from that verbiage doesn't work well here. You saw your own heart. You were experiencing your own heart. And I think the reason I think it's harder, because if you go somewhere dark and nasty and bad and evil, you're like, oh, eventually your spiritual instincts kicked in and go, oh, this is dark, nasty and bad, and you're like, I need, if everything isn't dark, nasty, and bad, then somehow I'm hoping against hope for something good.
Indeed.
It's an instinct, it's a hunger. Whereas if you've never left the Father's house, so to speak, I think I'm glad you figured it out, but I wonder, if it's harder. Oh, especially if you're placeholding in the Father's house, and
Gotcha.
not. How do you appreciate something anew when it's familiar already? And so I won't let you put yourself down for not figuring it out early, because I think actually that's given to us by God. That hunger, just to let you know, that's my opinion, is he waited to a certain time and place where you can properly act on it. Unless you think there were times earlier in your life when he was talking to you, and you're like, no, not right now. Which, I don't know, maybe that happens to everybody. But I'm not actually that. No, I'm not going to be. I think there's an appointed time and place for the aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
So, because nobody comes to God unless they're drawn. So unless you're drawn, there's nothing you can do about it. So, the past, I'm like, no, I'm not. What is it? Not getting it right a long time ago doesn't serve anybody.
Yeah.
I think that, okay. Yeah. That's, it just, yeah. All right. So, I'd rather someone show up late to the party than not showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'll let God figure that one out. Should I have been here earlier? I don't know. All I know is I'm glad it wasn't later.
Yeah, glad it happened when it did.
When was this Ravi Zachariah Insights downloaded?
That was that would have been 2017.
So it's really not that long ago. Because
just under 10 years, a decade.
So you had 3 years, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
That's an interesting walk. Did it make you tougher, or did it? Well, I mean, obviously you made it.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean 2017 wasn't several centuries ago? Unreal.
Glad that you could make it. Checking the order information now.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's just been a lot. Like, there's been a lot in the last decade of things that have happened.
As an animal,
I mean, COVID being one of these where, I don't know, for the most part, I spent it pretty isolated. Like I was alone in or with a roommate for most of it at my college, doing classes online, hoping that it would finally end. It's kind of when I got into listening to Paul a little bit. And I think it was towards the end of it, though. That's when I was listening to it more. In Grep in chat, I was sharing PVK with stuff with him pretty early when I was looking into his stuff. I'd already known about Jordan Peterson for a while at that point, and so it's just interesting to see all the stuff going on around here.
If you're keen, take this.
Has any of the other stuff helped you? Jordan Peterson or anybody else?
I mean, in little ways. I think Jordan Peterson, I haven't clicked with Jordan Peterson as much as other people have. I've appreciated his insights and stuff, but I think like Chad has been more helpful, way more helpful to me than Peterson has.
Right. Okay. That's actually, I think, yeah, I got you. I think it's the people. I'm understanding that.
Well, not just the people, but even the things, right? Like, the way Chad talks about AA and his insights there have been more helpful to me than the insights that Jordan Peterson were giving.
Order completed. Well done.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, it's like with me listening to Luke and figuring some stuff out, and then I think what's interesting is when Paul talks about exorcism with Jordan Peterson, when he first started saying that, I'm like, what are you saying? Like, that's not exorcism. Exorcisms, it's spinning around and casting out demons, and and that was just where I came from. And then the more I listened to him, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been missing the boat. Like I think it's, I understand now exorcism is as not so much casting out demons, but it's just bringing somebody or a people back into right relationship with God. It's not the green pea soup coming out of people and head spinning around. It's just attitudes.
Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is that. But
yeah, I get you. Okay. But I think when he was talking about the meaning crisis, when I first got here, I was listening to an interview Sherry was doing with a fellow named Martin Shaw.
Yeah.
And they were talking about, imagination versus imaginal, and the reality and importance of imagination. And I'm like, okay, these people are speaking my language. And that was helpful, just to hear other people getting it. But then I was hearing, I had to listen a long time. Like, what is this meaning crisis you're talking about? What is, meanwhile, the world's going crazy and the woke stuff's happening and whatnot. And when it was during that season, I knew, like, there wasn't anyone talking the reason and common sense. And I knew, it was kind of like a mythical mindset. It was like, I knew they were calling a champ. And I was thinking in that kind of terminology. If you have something rise up, it will call its opponent at the right time. Yeah, which is very, I don't know what that is, but it fit in, like I realized it being mythologically, and Peterson shows up, and see what he's doing, and then Paul starts talking about the crisis, and they're vaping. And like I was listening to him, it took a while. I learned his language, and then when I finally clicked to me the meaning crisis, it's in my. I'm like, oh yeah, you're finally, you guys are catching up, and that the kids are just losing their mind, and they're being, they're just losing their minds.
Mhm.
But I like the way, it's more than just me and my. You're losing your mind. You're like, that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So
There's
it's just better.
You aren't reminding me of him, but you're reminding me of something that the 75-year-old guy at my estuary says. He's all about he's all about being positive and being optimistic, but you wouldn't expect it from talking to him. At least, like, simultaneously, he'll say, like, within the same sentence, he'll say, the problem with, like, America right now is that we don't see the glass half full, and all these type of things, and people need to be more optimistic and to think good. And then at the same time saying, like, we're going to hell in a handbasket and the world's ending right now, but I'm just happy that I probably won't live to see the end of it.
Wow. Oh, dude, that's jive. Oh, that's funny.
And I'm not exaggerating when I say he'll use it in the same sentence. He'll say both things. Right. And it's just hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
It's hard to stop from laughing in those moments.
Right, yeah. I think what it is I'm that guy, except I want to fight as best I can with the time I have left to help others. And this is where the corner stuff helps, is the C.S. Lewis, the Narnia series, I guess, because I haven't gone through all of them, but I heard so there's a character that's like a duck or something, or one of a character that they're in a cave and they're captive, and the witch is trying to brainwash him, saying that the place that you came from doesn't exist, and this is the world that it really is. And the duck character goes, I would rather die believing in a good place that doesn't exist than living a life in comfort in the bad place that does.
Yeah.
I thought, oh man, that's a character. I'm glad I heard that. It's not a fatalistic perspective, I think. It's like I don't know if this is also Tolkien. It's like, even if you know you're going to fail, you have to try and do your best at it.
Welcome, and thanks for coming.
Fail well. And then, because here's the thing, like, because what I do know is I know, and I say this jokingly, God cheats. Like, just when you think someone's dead, they're not. That's the best hat trick there is. And if you keep that in mind when you're fighting, you think you're going to lose, you might. But, even if you die on this side, but if you die well, it really does pay off well on the next side. And then sometimes you fight well and you win. You're like, huh, all right, didn't see that coming, but cool. I am unrealistically optimistic because, because of miracles.
Good luck with everything.
I've actually had one. I actually had more than one.
Well done.
Gosh, if you would have known me 26 years ago, I was a bad burnout. It was pretty bad. It was. Even the people at church look at it, they would be like, oh yeah, you have no idea. And so I've experienced them. And then, like, you talk about people like Chad. Like, I know for a fact Chad's, he's changed.
Mm-hmm.
So, the things that are, I think maybe that's the corner, and the people here are a mixed blend of insight, smarts, and faith. And there's a good cross-pollination, I think. At least it's happened in my life. I never thought that critical thinking was part of a spiritual life, but who would have thought? But here you go. It's not a bad thing to have. And then I'm seeing people who have never experienced the woo experiencing it. And then I'm also finding out there's some people here that aren't talking too much about it that really do have it. They got a lot going on. And it's pretty cool. And yeah. Well, I mean, I would like to meet some of them. I would like to meet more of them. Because it builds. It's nice. It's nice. It builds faith. It's just fun. It's. I don't want to be the only guy. I don't want to be that guy. Like, for faith or woo. I'm like, no, I would like to meet some people that just blow by me. Because I'll be like, how'd you do that? How are you blocking that out? Teach me. Because faith, you can learn. I think it's like any other skill. You get somebody who's doing it, and if you follow them, hang out with them, you can pick it up.
How? Just, I guess, I think about that sometimes, and I don't know. I wonder how. Maybe asking how it works kind of misses the point, but it just seems to be almost magic the way that you just
yeah,
things just
actually
seem to you seem to pick up things passively.
I think it. You mean me or?
Or no,
all
just
of us?
everyone. By being in the presence of something, it kind of works its way in.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think, like back in the day, they would have called it an apprenticeship, for boat building or anything else. I think it's both taught, and I think like a revelation is caught within the heart. I don't think it has to be either or. But yeah, I think it is passive. I think it's funny. I wonder if studying passive. Can you be? No, studying passive. I think it's more like the best I could describe it for me is you soak. Like I soak in the corner for long before it kind of sank into my head. I wonder if that's learning in general.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I think we've kind of formulated learning as, you memorize the things on the page. Like, if learning is just facts, I think it's kind of what Verbeke gets into with, procedure and, all his P's of knowing.
Right.
And we just kind of have reduced it down to... now I'm going to sound like Luke Thompson. We're only talking about the propositional and not about anything else.
Right.
But I think there is something to that. We kind of lost that.
I think, yeah, I think you're right. Well, and is that the meaning crisis?
You're mine.
When it's all just proposition, and there's no contact
That's the way.
with the divine.
Hook that one.
That's what I think.
Snack.
You know, I'm pretty comfortable talking now, but in the, you know, like, I don't want to be throwing my Christianity around so hard, like a Thor hammer, saying this is how it is. But at this point, I don't mind saying this is how I think it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm not. So with that, I would say don't be afraid of a bad first draft. And I don't have to. What was it that Skink said? I don't have to engage in every game. Is that was it?
Yep.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. I hope I remember that one.
Oh, I'm sure it'll come up plenty more times.
Yeah, yeah.
His favorite saying is "Not my circus, not my monkeys." Is the other one.
Oh, now that one I know. See, now that one I use.
That's not his entirely. That's his motto. His mantra,
No,
I think is what he calls it.
Well, maybe I did pick that up from him. That when I heard that one, that cracked me up. But I have heard that one.
I see you've returned.
Here and there, and I'm like, okay. But that's too flippant.
Yeah, that's a little.
Because, yeah, but here's the thing: it really is. It does work because that's you're really. You know, if I would have, you know, like for the ringing in my ears, if I could have figured that, you know, if I could have had that slogan flashed before my eyes with the understanding, you know, I don't know how many years of suffering I could have saved myself, but oh well, here we are, you know, better late than never.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a fine wine. It develops and you appreciate it even more.
Definitely. Well, I think this might be a good place to stop. I think my wife has been softly knocking on the door to try to get my attention.
Oh.
So I think I might find out what's going on there. But
right.
Thanks
No
for
doubt.
hopping on, Ron, and talking.
Oh, it's been fun. Good time for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you later.
Okay. See you. Have a good one.
Bye.
And bye everybody else. Thanks everybody for swinging by. Thanks again to Ups for the generous contribution. See ya Grep and Grim and Aaron and Skank and Ron and Chris Howard and Luke and Ups. I think and McMo was able to swing by. So thank you all, and I hope to see you all again soon.